What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be my 2 cents. I'm not even gonna call this a review. This is gonna be my 2 cents on the Chasing Atlanta reunion. Last episode slash reunion. I didn't do a review on the last episode because the last episode really was just a conversation between Jaylon. I'm sorry, um, Lauren, right? Lauren England, yeah. Um, and Gardini. And I guess it was supposed to be this climactic meeting between the two of them, because they had the biggest back and forth, you know what I mean? Like that whole thing or whatever. And to me it was very anticlimactic. Neither one of them showed up with any type of conciliatory tone. Neither one of them were there to resolve anything. They were really only there to be heard and to talk to each other about their point of view. Jaylon finally said, "Okay, well, ain't no need in going back and forth. What you gonna do about the LLC?" And which is really the only at this point they just need to get lawyers. Like, and I'm sorry, I apologize if I slip back and forth between Jaylon and Lauren. But at this point, Lauren, you just need to get a lawyer. You just need to get a lawyer, and so that y'all can do whatever needs to be done. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I understand the whole situation, the legal side of it. I ain't go to nobody's law school. However, if y'all businesses are still intertwined somehow, Gardini said you still making money off the LLC, and he hasn't done anything, or he hasn't bothered you after you threw that damn water in his face. Whatever he can do to make your life hell, he probably is going to do at this time. One, he petty that way. Two, I would do it too. Like, you need him. There was no reason for you to throw that water in his face. It was very very calculated. Like, it was very obvious that that's what you were doing. It was very calculated. So the conversation didn't really do a whole lot for me. So that's why I didn't really review it, because it wasn't a lot to it. I understood what the producers were trying to do with that, and I understand what we as viewers were supposed to try to get out of that, but it just wasn't. It didn't give me a lot. And then we just sort of did a wrap up. You know how they do the little wrap up at the end of the reality show seasons or whatever. So let's get to the reunion. And again, the wrap ups were pretty much what we already know. We know if you follow them on social media, you already know. We know that Lauren bought a house. And the other thing, Gardini, and y'all know I love Gardini. I do. I don't agree with everything Gardini does and says, but I do love Gardini. But the one thing he said in this was he was talking about your foreclosed home, your foreclosed home, your foreclosed home. Boo, I'm sitting in a foreclosed home, okay? I bought my house. It was a short sale, but that's pretty much the same thing as a foreclosure. And I don't have no problems with it. I don't see no issues with it. So I understand that was supposed to be a read at Lauren, and that was supposed to be a problem. But at the end of the day, she living in a gated community, living in the same, she said, the same neighborhood as Ti and Tiny and some of these other people. And whether you got it because remember, Candy got her house as a foreclosure, paid cash for it, and it was a foreclosure. So ain't nothing wrong with a foreclosed home, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with a foreclosed home. And like I said, I understand that it was a read or whatever, but I'm just saying, I'm sitting in one, boo, and I love my house, because you know why? Because I walked in the door with equity, because everybody else around me paid 50, 60, 70, maybe even $100,000 more than I paid for my house. So I walked in the door with equity. I'm cool with my foreclosed home. Anyway, moving on. So, and the wrap ups were pretty much just, like I said, generic. Oliver, we know he's been doing great things. He's taken this platform and used it to the way it's supposed to be used. We Were Born, I think it's still, they said they're going to re-release their album now that they've gotten a little more notoriety. They're going to re-release their music because they have a little bit more of a following. Smart move. That's a smart move. Lil Kendra still locked up. Montel still doing his thing. Cameron doing his thing. Q is doing great things. He said that doors just keep opening for him, and things just keep happening for him. Um, so yeah. So that's pretty much those were. Did I go through everybody? Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, so let's get to this reunion. I took a few notes, so I'm gonna go through my notes, and then I'm gonna just, because I stopped taking notes at a certain point. So I'll go through the few little notes that I do have, and then I will say my little 2 cents. Um, the sound was messed up, but there was a post that Chasing Reality put up on their Instagram page and their YouTube page, basically apologizing for the sound, explaining what happened. So with that being said, I'm not going to dwell on that. Shit happens. It's, when you sometimes you can plan and plan and plan and plan, but you can't control outside forces. And they've acknowledged it, apologized, and they tried to do as much as they could in post production. So I'm not going to dwell on that. Oliver and Gardini got into it. So here's the thing: the Oliver Gardini piece, they were friends. I feel like it's a combination. And I feel like Gardini is hurt and I feel like Gardini is jealous of some of the things that Oliver has done. I feel like he's hurt because he truly, truly does feel like he exposed Oliver to the platform of chasing Atlanta and is not getting the respect that he feels like he deserves or acknowledgement for it. Also, he feels like Oliver didn't have his back. Like, I introduced you to this, I brought you into this platform, and therefore your loyalty and your allegiance should be to me. And I think it really hurt Oliver when he saw, it really hurt him when he saw Oliver hanging out with Lauren, with the contentious relationship between Lauren and Gardini, feeling like it really should have been us. It really, you really should have had my back. And I feel like you came on this show and you were clout chasing and you were just trying to be everybody's friend, which Oliver did admit in the roundup of the at the end of the season. He admitted that he came onto this show trying to be everybody's friend, but now realizing that, hey, he just got to do him. Um, and maybe that's what Gardini was probably alluding to with that whole situation. And they got into it, and it's clear that they are not friends anymore. And one thing Gardini said was, he was like, I still had love for him. He was like, he's family. So family is gonna always be family. Well, we ain't gotta hang out, we ain't gotta kiki and be best friends, but he's still family. And so I'm going, I always gonna have that love for him. So for that, I can respect that Gardini can separate the two. Because it was funny, I saw that Gardini was promoting Oliver's music on his page, and I was like, well, they must have made up. But now I understand what he's saying. Like, look, he's still family. And he was like, you don't like all your family, but they still family. So I can respect where Gardini's coming from on that. I but I think the biggest thing is that Gardini was hurt because he felt like Oliver chose to extend friendship to Lauren, knowing the relationship. I think Gardini felt like Oliver was supposed to have his back no matter what. And he didn't, and he felt hurt by that. The next, like I said, I only had a few notes, so let me just Gardini and Lauren, when they were talking, I said that Lauren was dry. She wouldn't talk about the LLC. Yeah, they tried to get them to go into the whole LLC piece of it again, and Lauren just wouldn't talk about it. Lauren didn't want to talk about a whole lot of stuff. She was very much, I don't really have no beef with anybody, and I'm here to be pretty. I didn't feel like her intention was to really get into it with anybody. I feel like her intention, if anything, was to clear the air that anybody may have had with her, because there was some people, which we'll get into that, which gets into the whole fight. So I'll get to that in a minute. Um, there was that conflict, and she just, I think, wanted to resolve maybe with there were some issues. So then we had, first of all, let me say this. What the fuck was Wayne the Pain doing there? Why was he there at all? Was he there supposed to be there to represent little Kendra? One, she wasn't there to speak for herself, so therefore it didn't need to be there. Two, they didn't even talk to him. And if they did, they edited it out. So, and I understand we never got to the end of the reunion. So maybe there was a point that they were supposed to work their way around to Wayne the Pain and get his 2 cents. But at the end of the day, he ain't bring nothing to the show. If anything, he added to the conflict, and it was unnecessary because Wayne the Pain, you weren't even on the show. Lil Kendra was on the show. You weren't on the show. You weren't in no opening credits. You weren't in no intro. You ain't had no scenes unless Lil Kendra was in them. So I don't understand why he was even there. Um, and there was some, and then the camera kept panning over to him. I'm like, why are we giving him so much attention? Like, why do we keep looking at him? Because I don't even know why he's here. Then we rehashed the whole, because the one thing let me say this for the production side of it. And I'm gonna be honest, let me just go on to be honest right now. I'm a little biased about some things, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. And what I mean by bias about it is I feel really bad for production in this whole situation. I did reach out to Andario, because he posted, and only because, and not because I didn't reach out to Kevon, not because I got a problem with either one of them, but I reached out to Andario because Andario posted something on his page after the reunion, just about how hurt he was and how disheartened he was and just frustrated by the whole thing. And so I did reach out to him and just, gave him some words of encouragement. So I feel for production because you put a lot. I don't think people really truly understand what goes into a production when you're doing everything. It's one thing to have a big production like Big Fish or Mona Scott Young, where it's a corporation, it's a company, and you have a full team and you have all these different things in place. But when it's just you and two of your friends and some handheld cameras doing this whole thing from beginning to end, it's a lot. It is a lot. And it's probably more than even I know because I've never done it. But I can certainly understand that there's a lot that goes into it. There's blood, sweat, tears, there's money, there's time, there's your own personal investment of what it is, your vision and what you're trying to see. And when year after year after year, you end up in the same damn place, no matter what you do to try to change things, something. I'm just gonna talk because, like I said, I told y'all from the beginning, this ain't even no review. I guess I could call it a rant because I'm pissed. I'm really pissed off. I'm pissed off for a lot of reasons, and I'm gonna just go ahead and let y'all know. I normally don't look at a whole lot of other stuff before I do my reviews, but I did look at Reese G did a live today, and I did look at it, and it's a couple of things he brought up that I'm gonna go ahead and say. And one of the things he brought up was when they had auditions last year for this season of Chasing Atlanta. Remember, y'all, those of you who follow the show, they charged people to submit an application. So these are people, the people who are on the season this year, you paid money to be a part of this production. You invested to be a part of this production. This wasn't just an open casting call and you just showed up with your headshot. You put an application and you pay for that application. And so you pay for the privilege to be a jackass. You paid for the privilege to be a jackass. And I mean that. However you choose to take it. However you choose to take it. So production put some time into this reunion. They put packages together. Um so so that you could, they put a package together so they would talk to these group of guys about this thing. So they put the package together for the Miami trip. They had the package together about Montel and Cameron going to Fashion Week. They had it, so you could tell that they put work into having these clips ready. They put work into who was going to be sitting on the couch during this particular time because they kept changing the configuration of who was on the couches. So there was time put into this. I was not impressed with King of Reeds. And again, let me be perfectly transparent. I'm not a fan. I'm not a King of Reeds fan. However, I went into it with an open mind because I want to see him do well because I feel like he has talent. He's just not for me. You know what I'm saying? It's different strokes for different folks. That's why, you know, that's what makes the world go round. That's why, you got different people that say different things about different situations. That's what makes the world go round. He's not my cup of tea. But at the end of the day, I wanted to see him do well. Um, but I wasn't impressed, and I'm gonna tell you why. One, when you are hosting, when you look at these other people that host that do it that do a good job of it, let me say that. You don't know how they feel. You don't know their personal bias. You don't know who they're friends with. You don't know who they like and who they don't like because that is not your job. Your job is not to insert your own personal opinions / feelings / emotions into any of it. And I feel like every time something came up, he had to let you know how he felt. Like, for example, when they talked to Q, he had to let Q know, I ain't really like you last year. I wasn't really feeling you because I was worried, I felt like you was coming for the gays. I felt like you was really hating on gays, that you wasn't really accepting who you were, and da 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 da. And I was just like, okay. And then I am not a member of the LGBTQ community, so please don't take this the wrong way. I do not like that cis stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. And the one thing that Q said was, you don't know me. Like, if we friends and it's kind of like the bitch thing. If we friends and we cool, I have friends, we call each other bitch all day long. We friends and we cool. But you know good and daggone well somebody off the street can't call me no bitch. You don't know me like that. We can't laugh, we can't joke, we ain't friends. And that's how I feel about the whole sis thing. I know that in the LGBTQ community, that's what they do. They call each other sis. I get that. But I also feel like there has to be a level of intimacy or friendship for you to do that. And again, Q let you know that he wasn't comfortable with it. And then it was like you sort of got combative with Q. Again, that wasn't your role. If you said it because you're not, that's how you used to talk, and that's cool. But once he let you know he was not comfortable with you calling him sis, that's where you should have backed down and said, my bad. And you should have went back to calling him out, calling him his name, Q. If you couldn't remember, just call him Q. And I had a problem with that. And there were a couple of times throughout this that you inserted your personal opinion, and that wasn't your role as host. That was not your place or your role as host. And that was the same critique that I had with the guy who, and I can't remember his name right now. I can think of his Instagram name, but I can't think of his name, who did the G Status ATL hustle. There were a few times, now he didn't do it a lot, but there were a few times that he sort of inserted his opinion. And I said it then. I said the same thing. Not your time, not your place. So that was my one of my problems. My other problem was I don't think you did a great job keeping people on task. Now, with that being said, I don't know if anybody could have done a great job of keeping people on task. So that's just my fair critique of that. So when they got to the Miami trip, once again we started talking about Jay Twan sleeping with production and who Oliver told and who Oliver didn't tell. Now let me say this: I love you, Oliver. I do. I really like Oliver. But Oliver, you spent too much time explaining that shit. Because the more you talk, then it sounded like you were trying to come up with an excuse or try to make up shit. And I don't think you were. I think you were telling your story. But I think you're like me. When I get to talking, then I got to tell you what the person was wearing, what color the street sign was, or whether we were at a green light or a red light, whether we were in a red car or a blue car. Like, I feel like when I'm telling the story, I got to give you all of that. And that's what you were doing. Just get to the meat and potatoes. At the end of the day, you did not spread the rumor. The rumor came to you. And when people came to you with the rumor, you engaged in a conversation, but you did not spread nor start the rumor. I truly believe that that was a storyline that they were trying to insert. My 2 cents. And like, just like even when you were doing the explanation about when you saw Jay Twan later with the producer, you went all the way around Robin Hood's bar and you bought Wayne the painting, which wasn't necessary. I agree, and I feel like that was a little petty slash shady on your part. And one thing I feel about you, Oliver, is that you know exactly what you're doing, so you purposely threw that in there to be a little catty, a little petty. I believe you did, and that's okay. It is what it is. But in the interim, you were losing your audience. Because, like I said, I don't believe you were lying. I believe what you were saying. I believe the story you were telling. But at the end of the day, it was just too convoluted. But bottom line is, if you walk like a duck and talk like a duck, that's a goddamn duck. So if y'all were hugged up and booed up and y'all dated before the show, you can't be mad at one, people repeating it, people spreading the rumor, and two, people feeling like that's why you got on the show. You can't be mad about that, Jay Twan. Like, um, I'm gonna get this reunion about 2 more minutes before I go off on my little rant. What else went down? I know I'm forgetting something because, like I said, I stopped taking notes, so I know I'm gonna forget something. Um, we were born. I feel like I said it all this season. I, all right, I'm done. Let me just get to my 2 cents. Let me just get to my rant. Like I said, y'all, I'm so irritated right now. And I'm so pissed off, and I feel for production. I really feel for y'all. I do. I hope y'all watch this review because I really do feel for y'all. Um, so here's what I'm gonna say. I have not been watching. I started last season. I started reviewing last season because I wasn't even doing YouTube review season one. And I went back. I watched season one, so I could catch up with season two. And I started watching season two and started doing my reviews. Oliver, Lauren, hell, Gardini, Q. Have taken this platform and done what they were supposed to do with it. We Were Born, you re-releasing your album, kudos. That's a great move. Great job. With that being said, I have absolutely no idea what the rest of y'all are doing on this show. It's reality. We like drama. We like the bullshit. That's why we watch. Let's just be clear. But at the end of the day, you have to do a combination of bullshit and business. B&B. Bullshit and business. And the problem is a lot of y'all got so caught up in the bullshit, y'all forgot about the business. Then you got mad and started hating on the other people who was getting their business done. There is nobody on this show that need to be hating on Oliver. Oliver took motherfucking lemons and he made some goddamn lemonade with a splash of vodka. Okay? You can't be mad at Oliver. Um, Gardini want to say, oh, he only had 73 views. Okay, well, you know what? He got damn millions of them now. He's selling merch. He dropping videos every other damn day. He dropping songs every other damn day. So, okay, even if that's where he started, it doesn't matter. He did the platform. He used the platform for what it was there for. Q. I'm not sure what all was going on or wasn't going on with Q before this season, but I know since last year he done wrote a book. He done relaunched his radio station. He's done celebrity interviews. He's been in plays. Like he is taking the platform and using it for what it's there for. Jaylon/Lauren hit rock bottom and got it back. Now again, y'all know Lauren is not my favorite person. She get on my damn nerves because I think she's shady as fuck. However, can't be mad at the hustle. I can't be mad at the hustle. She said she was sleeping in her store. And now she's in a gated community. I can't be mad at her hustle. Gardini went to jail at the end of last season, got out of jail, and is hustling. It's hustling. You know, Gardini didn't get a lot of screen time, but I believe that had a lot to do with the beef between him and producers, the bullshit between him and producers and production. Montel, and I like Montel. I do. I have no idea why you decided to come back and do this show. You clearly had no interest and being a active part of this season. Clearly did not. I don't know why you agreed to come back, especially if y'all aren't getting a paycheck, which is what a lot of y'all throw out. So if you're not getting a paycheck, what you there for? Uh, so let's get to the rest of this reunion. Who do I blame for the fight? I blame the audience for the fight. I blame Q for the fight. Now, based on what I saw, and I looked at the extended scene, all of that. And I haven't looked at anybody's lives other than Reese G, so I don't know what anybody else said who was at the reunion. I don't know any other inside behind the scenes scoop, none of that. But let me say this, my 2 cents. The first time when Lauren and who was it kept arguing, We Were Born, I think, when they kept going back, when Lauren and Jay Twan kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and Q yelled from the audience, move this shit along, tired of this shit. At that point in time, he should have been escorted out the building. Who the fuck are you from the audience to be telling anybody what they need to be doing? Now, granted, he was right. That was one of those moments where King of Reeds lost control, and I feel like security should have tapped him on his shoulder and said, "Sir, we're going to ask you to leave. You don't get to yell from the audience what people need to do and not do. You're not on this show, sir. I understand that that's your significant other up there on the stage, but she was holding her own. She was fine. Nobody got about their seat. Nobody was threatening her. You sit your ass down and you shut the fuck up. And you listen and you enjoy the show like everybody else. And if you can't do it, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. But nobody did that. They let him yell out and they moved on. So then we get to the argument with Troy. Troy, you're another one. I don't know why you were on the show this season. I get it. You worked a lot. You said you were a manager. You didn't really have a lot of time. Then again, I say you should have bowed out gracefully and said, thank you for the opportunity. Maybe next season I have a little bit more time to film. I have a little bit more time to show my talent. But right now I got this promotion at work. I didn't anticipate that happening. I just don't have the time. And production would have either done one or two things. They either would have gracefully let you out of your contract. I don't know what kind of contract y'all signed, but gracefully let you out of your contract or not. And if they said, well, no, you made a commitment, you're going to finish the season, then fuck it, you get what you get. Because I done already told you I don't have time to film. You get what you get. But for you to get mad at Gardini because Gardini said you were born, bitch, you were. We ain't seen you but 4 times. You were. But when the female yelled, because it was something between where Lauren didn't understand why we were whoever it was it Troy's friend? And again, Q yelling from the audience, his 2 cents. Again, tap, tap, tap on the shoulder. Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Now, let's assume for a moment security said we're going to just give you a warning. The first time he yelled out, "Sir, your warning." At that time, sir, we're going to have to ask you to leave. And you escort his ass out the auditorium. Again. So you have a female on the other side yelling out. And again, security, tap, tap, tap. Ma'am, I'm going to ask you, this is your warning. I'm going to ask you to keep, do not interfere with the taping. And if she had to continue to run her mouth, man, we're going to have to ask you to leave. We're going to escort you out. You pause the show, you cut the cameras, you let security escort these people out, and then you continue with your show. You understand what I'm saying? So who do I blame? I blame the audience. I don't blame Lauren because that's who she bought. I don't blame her. You can't control what a grown-ass man going to do or not do. You just can't. Now, what I do have a problem with is when at the end she was arguing and making it seem like Q wasn't at fault. Now that I have a problem with because Q was at fault. Because then Q gonna yell at the woman. First of all, how you yelling at a woman and coming at a woman like that? What the fuck? Are we just gonna nobody gonna address that? Nobody's gonna address that. He was yelling at this woman and then approached her like he was gonna do something to her. We're not gonna address that because at first I thought it was little Kendra's sister, who I believe is transgender as well. And so I thought that's who he was approaching. But then when they showed the clip, it was a woman. And I don't mean that to be offensive. I think y'all understand what I'm saying. And I'm like, so we're not gonna say nothing about the fact that Q got up out his seat and he was gonna approach a grown ass woman? Like a grown ass man coming up on a woman, like he ain't had no problems. So then the fight ensued. Then you see Troy and Montel get up. Montel, who the fuck you fighting? Why are you even in it? This should have been. Why are you even in it? I don't understand why Montel got up. You just got finished talking about how you grown, you don't have time for the bullshit, you don't have time for the drama, yet and still you jump up ready to fight, and it ain't had nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. I'm not understanding. And again, I only see what the camera showed us, so maybe it was something that I don't know about. Troy, what the fuck? What you? And so I say all that to say, why can't we use our fucking words? Why does everything have to be a fight with y'all? Why does everything have to get physical? Why is that y'all's go-to? We're sitting here having a conversation, hashing out our issues, hashing out our problems. At the end of the night, we might not walk out of here friends. Hell, we might not walk out of here speaking to each other. But why does everything have to come down to violence? And why does it have to come down to using our fists? I don't understand it. Again, we all look at reality TV for the bullshit and the drama. We do. I do. I tune in, I review it. I get it. But at the end of the day, at a certain point, we gotta use our fucking words. We can argue all day long. Give the people what they want. Give the people the drama. Give the people the yelling back and forth and the arguments. But the physical altercation is not okay. And again, who do I blame? I blame Q. 120%. I don't care what else was going on. Whoever was yelling out in the audience, it doesn't matter. Those are words. That woman was yelling. And was she inappropriate? Absolutely. Let security handle that. That's not your place. That's not your job. But again, I say the first time Q yelled out, security should have tapped him on his shoulder and said, "Sir, that's your warning." The second time he yelled out, they should have escorted his ass out of there. And I don't have no beef with none of these people. I actually kind of like you. I follow his Instagram, and I like you. I think he's a nice looking guy and all of that good stuff. I'm happy that him and Lauren got back together because she seems really happy and she seems like she is so in love. Happy for them both. You like it, I love it. But when it comes down to it, that's who I blame. I don't blame the only piece I blame production on is that security wasn't doing, in my opinion, security wasn't on top of their job. That's my only beef is whoever y'all hired for security, because again, Q shouldn't even still been in the room, in my opinion. I feel bad that it went down the way it went down. I feel bad that people do not know how to use their damn words. Um, Ondario is very discouraged. I'm assuming that Kevon probably is as well. And all I can say is that, as somebody who reviews the show, and I do enjoy the show, I hope that you guys can step away, give yourselves time to recharge your batteries, figure out what you want to do differently to get a different set of people. Maybe you need to throw the whole damn cast out and start all over again. I don't know. I really don't know. But I do know that there are some people who really do not need to come back, really do not need to come back. They they bring one, they don't bring nothing to the show, number one. And two, if all they do have to bring to the show is violence, we don't have no place, we don't have no parts for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody has time for that. So I know this ran long and I was ranting and raving and I really didn't even review the damn show. I know and I apologize. But with that being said, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I don't think I'm about to go live and talk about it with some folks, see what people talking about. But that's where I am with it. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.